I have been extremely nostalgic for print media and magazines recently, as even evidenced by my last video I posted. And so I want to keep running with that trend and give another video utilizing some old magazines from the 90s, maybe early 2000s, and use that as our fashion inspo for today. Social media and being able to get so many different outfits and trends and style inspirations at once. Sometimes I just want to look at a magazine and look at one thing and say, that's what I want to do for the day. So I'm really excited to do that. I'm excited to see what overlaps with our current trends and see where they differ and just give you guys some fun fashion inspo based off those magazines. With that said, let's get into it. First, we have the September 1995 page talking about a sweet color combo. According to the magazine, nothing could be better than creamy chocolate brown and ice cold blue, which heck freaking yeah, I agree with it. Such a good color combo. Honestly, I'm gonna go with underrated. I think this gets slept on a little bit because even as I saw it, I was like, oh yeah, I know that's a great color combo. But for some reason, I never put the two together. And I love wearing this top just by itself, but I was glad to see I could make it like a dual function also of a vest where it's being placed over this dress. And now I feel like I have a fun little skirt and top combo. Yes, I know some of you may be seeing this outfit and immediately thinking that's cornflower blue, that's not a baby blue. The counterpoint to you is I don't actually own a lot of baby blue, but more importantly, this combo between this like loose oversized fit turtleneck and these baggy pants looks so much better than this baby blue tank top I could have styled with it. And for styling's sake, I'm taking the inspo of the blue and the brown, and we've come to make this. And I'm so happy with it. I love a shapeless outfit. I really do. Consider me a liar. I knew I was missing something. I have this true like ice blue long sleeve that I wear all the time during winter, but it's still this summer to fall transitional period outside, so I'm not really in the mood to put on outerwear and my long sleeves because I'm just gonna sweat through them. But once I found this, I knew I had to do a little bit more of a fall inspired outfit, which is denim at the end of the day. Light wash denim is a baby blue in itself, so you can definitely use, your light wash denim jeans. I don't even know. I feel like they look a little bit darker on camera. They're really light wash in person. And, mix that with your accessories, aka shoes or scarves or bags, that's still giving you that feel of that dark brown and icy blue combo. But if you don't really have it in your clothing pieces, like me, for example, my accessories and outerwear tend to be super dark brown. Also, love a cropped jean with riding boots. I've had these since like 2022, 2023, and they are so freaking cute. And I know preppy is definitely coming into style right now. So if you've been wanting some inspo on how to wear those riding boots without them just being the riding boot over a legging or a skinny jean, this is a great alternative. Our next section is Velvet Crush. And in this photo, if I ever get my hands on that dress in the Prince Charming section, it's over for everyone. I want it so badly. This is a teal velvet. It's so hard to see on camera. Oh, there's the I tend to wear this velvet top in a lot more of an elegant, girly way. Don't know if I want an oversized bag or small bag. I think a small bag might be better. I went with this silver chain bag to match the hardware on these pants. That Prince Charming section? That's ideal velvet to me, and it's so hard to find that. The atypical colors or patterns, what you typically see is black velvet, which don't get me wrong, it has a little bit of the sheen and shine, but the look of patterned velvet or velvet that's a funky color just is so good and I want it. Anyway, I have worn this outfit out and it is my one of my favorite blouses. It's my kitty cat blouse. I'm a cat lover. I'm a cat mother. Where's Buster? He's around. Should I get him for this clip? No, I couldn't do that to him. He looked so comfy and cozy in his corner. For those of you who are new here, welcome. This is Buster. My everything. Hence why I have this kitty cat blouse. I will say if you've been wanting to test out to see if you like velvet, I do think black is the perfect way to get into that. For example, this black velvet skirt. Yes, from certain angles you can see that it's velvet, but on camera, even in person when you're walking through, if the light isn't hitting you, it just looks like a normal black skirt. You yourself know what texture you're wearing, so if you kind of like it, you love the feel of it, then it's definitely something to get into. And I love these little scrunched up socks. I feel like I put on this outfit first and didn't have my shoes and socks on yet. And I was like, is this even worth it to show in the video? It is now. It is now to me specifically, which is all that really matters. I more importantly do want to say this leads into our next magazine article, the cardigan. According to this article, a killer cardigan is about looking cool, not just staying warm. So I guess we have to abide by that. One of their style tips is barely buttoned looks best. Let's try it out. I think this look is really cute. It's very girly and frilly and fun, and I do like that. I'm curious though if a different style cardigan would actually look better with this dress, or if this dress really just should be a standalone. I put on this deep v-neck cardigan on. I'm in love. Listen, I know this outfit is a little out there, but it makes me feel like I'm a little garden fairy in a way. It reminds me of those books I read as a kid. Oh, what were they? Like the rainbow fairies. And there was like Ruby, the red fairy, etc. I will be the green fairy, the green purple fairy today. But let's give you some more outfit inspo with cardigans. I think this is a much better example of what that photo was going for with only one button done up top. This gorgeous little gingham red dress. And yes, I'm wearing my little lad shoes, as some of you may know. This dress reminds me of apples, which reminds me of apple picking, which reminds me of Johnny Appleseed, which reminds me of my brown shoes. Was that a stretch? Yes. But that's how we got here. You know, I said it once and I'll say it again. Sometimes monochrome just gets the job done. You know, that one photo with the silk dress and little cardigan on top obviously made me want to pull out my own little skirt. Sometimes I debate, I feel like a black boot with a long skirt can look a little harsh on the bottom, but also I love it. So I think it just depends on my mood of the day. Up next, we're talking loafers. One thing you need to know about me is I love a loafer. They are my go-to shoe. This page says loafing around. Whether they're pearly patent leather or scarlet snakeskin, loafers are making news this fall, which is so funny because that's so true to right now. And obviously we know trends repeat themselves, but this is just such a fun little way to see it happening. I saw in one of my videos someone had commented that loafers would eventually become kind of a cringy shoe for Gen Z, and I disagree. Well, one, because as we saw right there, the magazine, the trends are coming back. They're always cycling through. So for me, I don't think shoes can necessarily become like a cringy item if they're not a statement piece. So they had compared it to kind of like the checkered print Vans for millennials and said that's what the loafer would become. I and that's where we diverge immediately because to me, right, an equivalent of a checkered print shoe would be like those Taekwondo May sneakers from Adidas, which I love, but yeah, definitely in like 15 years online, someone would be like, why the heck were you wearing those? And I'd be like, because I like them. And one, if you like a trend, by all means, do what you need to do with it, buy it. Like, I'm not critiquing that by any means, but a loafer or a ballet flat are not a statement piece shoe. I'm putting these on and I could trade these out with another black shoe, and that's not going to be that crazy of a switch over. Which is why, for example, Doc Martens, black Doc Martens boots, no one's ever been like, ooh, ew, no to the Doc Martens because they're just a good shoe. They work with most outfits. They're just a trusted pair. These shoes don't really affect the outfits as much as, statement shoe would. And still on the topic of loafers, I have been debating buying a heeled loafer, like a platform loafer, but a loafer with a heel. Very Monica from Friends. I think even Rachel wears them sometimes. I want a pair so badly. I found a pair on ThreadUp that was like a really good price, and then I just didn't buy them because I haven't been trying to spend money recently. But I feel like if I wear these loafers so much, maybe a heeled loafer should be in my future. Is that crazy of me to say? I don't think it's that crazy of me to say. Now, you may be assuming the next thing I'm going to say is plaid skirts, since I have one on. No, in this scenario, it's actually a discussion around kilts. I have so many thoughts and things to say. Kilt trip. Once reserved for the Scottish Highlands, kilts, cut super short, are making a comeback as a key component of spring's sexy schoolgirl look. First thought is I don't have any mini kilt-like skirts, but I do have midi, and I would never buy an item just for a video. No offense to you guys. I love making these things, but I'm not gonna buy stuff just for this. So we're gonna go with my own variation. And two, The words sexy and schoolgirl should never be in the same sentence. And I will leave it at that. Anywho, here's our first little look. Tying in that burgundy from the skirt into the little tube top. The one thing I did try and do with this look is definitely make it a little bit more, night on the town, a little bit more sultry as they're styled with their mini skirts. My variation of that is keeping it as a long skirt, but making the top and the shoes a little bit skimpier. You may be saying, didn't you just say you didn't have any midi plaid skirts in the last clip? And I would say, yes, you were right. Except this skirt, okay, hold on. I like so many thoughts happening at once. Love this outfit. I love this look. Let's discuss further now. This skirt actually looks like this. This corset is actually holding up the part of the skirt that is making it a drop waist skirt. But because it's such a tight corset, it's able to do that and actually look good. I feel so cool right now. I feel like a rocker chick in a way, It reminds me of Freaky Friday. Not actually, but it's just what's coming into my head at first thought. And not necessarily as schoolgirl like as the Vogue View discusses it, but this is what I love about my outfit inspo from my magazines. It's only a couple things I'm looking at and I find something from it. I feel like this type of plaid really hits the nail on the head for that schoolgirl skirt that they reference. I obviously wanted to play with those thin yellow lines and bring it to kind of to the front of the outfit, which is why I chose to wear this yellow sweater that matches them. Our next section is suitcases. So this magazine says, take a funky plaid jacket and matching hip huggers, wear them together for a cool 70s style suit, split them up to put a retro spin on all your favorite stuff. And not just this article, but I saw a lot of magazine articles that were so great at articulating ways to rewear your clothing. If they are promoting to buy an item, they don't just style it one way. They give you tips on how to rewear, which I love doing on my channel as well, which was really exciting to see. But more importantly, sometimes you don't get that. You only see something styled one way. And so let's try and do what they said and split up this two-piece set. I truly only associate that two-piece set as a two-piece set, which is why you might be seeing this and saying, wait, this is literally a plaid skirt that could have been worn in the last clip. Yet again, a reason why you need to double check around your closet. I also have them hung up together, so the skirt exists inside the blazer, and it's like in a certain section of my closet for my more professional wear. One, I love that, you can take professional wear, you can take normal clothing and flip it on its head and make it into something that you can wear for a different occasion. So in this case, kind of made it a little bit more casual, even though it still feels upscale for sure. I chose not to tuck it in actually. I may when editing this video wish I would have tucked it in, but I kind of liked the aspect of keeping it out, because it's a pretty high-waisted skirt. And then I have these perfect little olive green loafers that I do steal from my sister all the time that match the skirt. Well, if you can't tell by it being all over my body right now, we have moved into an animal print magazine. In this case, it's the Wild Things, so they have prints of everything in between. I feel like this can actually show you a little bit more of what it looks like. Very professional looking dress, so let's switch it up a little bit. Some of you may already have had the pleasure of seeing this look, but how could I not put it in the Wild Things section? A little cow print skirt. And similar to what I said last time I talked about this outfit, sometimes when you're struggling with a pattern, you just need to lean into that and go crazier with another pattern on top. My favorite night out looks. I love it! I really do. Do you know what the animal print is? Yeah, it's on my freaking shoe. My favorite way to wear animal print is on my feet. I have my ocelot print actually, ocelot print loafers. I have a pair of zebra print mules, and then many of you have seen my zebra print flats a lot. I think my style is honestly all over the place, but a lot of times when I do tend to wear a more neutral outfit, I love animal print on the shoe. It makes my outfit feel like it has a little bit more oomph. I saw this one Gap ad and it's making me crave a sweater dress. She looks so freaking cool. I want it so badly. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I, as per usual, had a lot of fun making it, playing around with print magazines. So comment down below if you have any video requests you want to see. Subscribe if you're feeling crazy. And I hope you have a lovely day.